Hello dear students. Let's begin our new session of social science class. Have you all done your assessment well? Very good. In the previous class, we studied about the protest of Indians against the English East India Company. So today, we are starting a new chapter titled India Towards a New Era. In this chapter, it clarifies the evil practices, superstitions or wrong beliefs that existed in India, importance of education, and also about the dedication shown by educated Indians in making social awareness about the evil practices. Let's read a description on Sati. In this incident, a dyed Baniya man was accompanied by his less than 10-year-old wife, who was in a bridal dress, sacrificing her life for her husband in the presence of hundreds of people like relatives and mates. This practice, sati, is considered as an evil custom. Like this, many other evil practices also existed in India. Can you say some evil practices? For example, child marriage, prohibition on widow remarriage, human sacrifice, female infanticide, slavery, caste system, untouchability, and so on. Prohibition on widow remarriage means a female whose husband died, she had no right to marry again. That is the meaning of prohibition on widow remarriage. Human sacrifice means devoting human life or sacrificing human life to please God. Such a custom also existed in ancient India. Female infanticide means killing of newborn female children. Slavery means consider human beings as slaves. So these are the important evil practices that existed in India: child marriage, prohibition on widow remarriage, human sacrifice, female infanticide, slavery, caste system, untouchability, and so on. Now you got an idea about evil practices that prevailed in India. To fight against these evil practices, several reform movements came up in the 19th century. The leaders who formed reform movements received education and dedicated their life for creating social consciousness or social awareness. So it was a new thought or a modern thinking, or we can say it is a rational thinking, a new thought to renew the society from its evils. The common features of these reform movements were the protest against the evil customs and superstitions, freedom of women, spread of education, and sense of pride on Indian culture. Superstitions mean wrong beliefs, and sense of pride on Indian culture means as an Indian we should be proud of our culture. So important common features of these reform movements were protest against the evil customs and superstitions, freedom of women, spread of education, and sense of pride on Indian culture. Let's move on to some of the important reform movements and their leaders. So first we can examine the role of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and his major activities. He was a person who had Western education. He strongly condemned the evil practices like sati and child marriage that prevailed in India. Condemned means he declared or announced that sati and child marriage were guilty or fault ones. It is not a good practice. His campaign, his activities against sati persuaded, means prompted, Lord William Bentinck, the British Governor General, to abolish sati. So it is the British Governor General, Lord William Bentinck, that abolished sati in India. He stopped sati in India. Raja Ram Mohan Roy founded Brahma Samaj to propagate, means spread his ideology, and gave the message that ideas of all religions are basically the same. That means all religions, if it is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or any other religion. Each one of these religions gives importance to love and show compassion to fellow human beings. His strong belief was that the caste system was the major source of disparity or inequality in Indian society. That is, where some being considered as upper caste or lower caste. This attitude created inequality in India. So, because of the contributions of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he is known as the father of Indian Renaissance. The next we are going to study about Swami Dhyananda Saraswati. Swami Dhyananda Saraswati was the leader of Indian Renaissance, who attacked the caste system and condemned idol worship. He also protested against the caste system and also announced that idol worship as a wrong one. Idol worship means worshipping the statues. For example, worshipping the sun, moon, the trees, like that. We call it as a idol worship. To disseminate his ideology, in order to spread his ideas, Swami Dhyananda Saraswati founded Arya Samaj. He gave the call, go back to Vedas. His advice was that go back to Vedas, because in the early Vedic period the religion was very simple. And the third important social reformer was Jyotirao Phule. Jyotirao Phule condemned caste system and promoted widow remarriage. He also protested against the caste system and supported widow remarriage. He argued that free and compulsory education should be provided to children up to 12 years and gave primary concern to the education of the weaker section and women. Jyotirao stood for free and compulsory education to children up to the age of 12 and gave more importance to the education of weaker section and women. Nowadays, present governments are giving importance to education of children and giving importance to the education of weaker sections and giving more consideration to women. For these purposes, Jyotirao founded an organization known as Satya Shodak Samaj. Satya Shodak Samaj. And the next social reformer was Pandita Ramabai. Pandita Ramabai, in order to for the development of women, she also established an organization known as Arya Mahila Sabha. Arya Mahila Sabha. She also fought against social inequalities faced by women and worked energetically for women's education and the empowerment of widows. He fully worked for women and their empowerment. So, if you are giving importance to women, nowadays, our ration card is also in the name of women. So, if she is the light of women, or a mother, or females of that house generally be the light of the houses. So, if they are educated, if they are self-sufficient, that family will be developed, thereby that nation, and we can expect self-sufficiency in our country. The next social reformer was Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan led the movement for the spread of modern education among Muslims. And he established Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh, that later became the famous Aligarh Muslim University. So, the promotion of modern education among Muslims, he established the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. And his important remark about this inequality was that there should be unity between Hindus and Muslims. He gave importance to Hindu-Muslim unity, and he also remarked that both Hindus and Muslims breathe the air of India, drink the water of Ganga and Yamuna. We both feed upon the products of the Indian soil. We are together in life and death. So he underlined unity of Hindu and Muslim, or the unity of the people, irrespective of religion. Swami Vivekananda is the another important social reformer. He fought against caste inequalities and promoted education among women. He gave emphasis to the universal brotherhood, considering all the human beings as our brothers and sisters. And he remarked that for our own motherland, a junction of the two great systems, Hinduism and Muslim, is the only hope. That means he underlined the importance of the unity of Hindus and Muslims. He was the disciple of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and his guru was Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. In order to spread the ideas of the teachings of his guru, he established a organization known as Ramakrishna Mission. And this Ramakrishna Mission established several educational institutions, including schools and colleges all over India. He played an important role in awakening the nationalistic feeling and self-respect among Indians. He is an important leader that motivated youths of India and motivated them to participate in the national independence activities and promote self-respect among Indians. As an Indian, we should be proud of our culture. So let's recollect what we have studied today. First, we studied about the evil practices that prevailed in India. Then after that, the necessity of reform movements to free India from evil practices. Then we studied about the common features of reform movements. At last, we studied about some important reform movements and their leaders. I suppose all of you got a clear idea about the role of social reformers in creating social consciousness beyond the religious boundaries. So dear students, study well. Let me conclude. Thank you.